driving in the higher crime areas. We also were tasked out to assist the DEA, ATF, outside agencies with calls when they didn't have a K-9 available.
Okay. And so about that, you have a partner that you take that. She come dog.
Yes.
And
he thinks he's a person, but he's a dog. Yes, CHAKON.
And does Chacon have to go in training in order to assist you and serve as a K-9? What kind of training does Chacon?
So initially, it was a process of picking out a K-9 that would best work for what we need. So it would have been tracking narcotics and article, which is like evidence recovery, anything with human odor on it they can find. And then the initial is a 12-week training program where they go through, you can imprint the dogs on the odors that you want them to be trained on to find. And then after that, you certify the dog with the nationally recognized certifying official.
And how often does your K-9 get certified?
Every year.
And do you still work with Chacon now?
I retired him about 3 months ago. He's probably at home watching this on TV.
Okay. I want to direct her to 2018. Was Chacon under all of his certifications?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to direct her specifically to October 23rd, 2018. Did you have occasion to assist Officer Steve Ross with the investigation?
I did. Basis. Overruled.
Okay. And how did you assist with that investigation?
He notified me by radio that they needed an open air search done at 2612 Steel Avenue. Once I received the call, I don't recall exactly where I was at that time, but I went directly to that call to assist Officer Ross.
Okay. And as we discussed earlier, it said that it was Chacon your officer with your dog that was,
Yes, ma'am.
and he was certified during that time.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's in Marcus 75 and 76I. Tell me if you recognize 75 and 76I.
I do.
And how do you recognize 75?
These are Chacon's certifications each year through the NNDDA.
It wasn't.
National Narcotic Dog Detector Association.
Okay. And that's certified. It certifies all K-9s.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a couple of certifying officials we utilize in NNDDA. But there are other ones out there, but this is one of the nation's top ones, which is why we use them.
And does that appear to be a fair accreditation of his Chacon certifications for the years of 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019?
Overruled.
That's not saying like the Senator Tracy exhibits 75 and 76 is evidence. Yes, 75 and 76.
Any objection, ma'am? So noted. Lyric, minute. Yes. May function.
Now, first looking at 75I, and we want to specifically disclose out of 2018, which was May 24, 2018. Just walk the jurors through what he has to get certified in. We're talking about temporary ability search from apprehension. Just walk us through that.
Okay, so the first three, you'll see that there's a line through those. Those are for apprehension dogs, which Chacon is not. If you see the fourth line, evidence recovered, you would have to find 3 items of would send the items out. They would give it a rest period and then tell me a certain area to go search. He would have to find all three of those items within, I believe it's a 2-minute time frame. You'll see agility and obedience are marked out because that also falls under apprehension dogs. And then area search, tracking. You'll see that that's self-explanatory. They lay a track for us. They might give it 30 minutes to an hour, and you have to successfully find the person or toy or object at the end of that track, going over multiple surfaces from grass, gravel, dirt, multiple surfaces. Area search and all that, the rest of it, that one falls under apprehension.
And so for control purposes, he passed the test in order to go out and to continuously.
I seen this before.
In 2018, was he able to pass the test? Did he pass the test?
Yes.
And was he able to continue out?
I'll let you repeat those same questions.
After this,
So it's combat all the standards laid out by the NDDA and the Department of Atlanta.
and now let's look at 76I. I'm going to get focusing on May of 2018. If you can just walk us through May 2018 and the significance of what was passed for certification in May 2018.
So you'll see the four major narcotics up there, which is marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. The others we don't train on. Like it would be something like specialty, like fentanyl or something like that. So this encompasses all the major narcotics. So under methamphetamine, we would also have MDMA. Even though they're different narcotics, they still have the same makeup. So, but you go past all of those, and these are also blind heights where they'll have, it might be a building or an office building or something like that. They'll hide the trained narcotics that are given to them by the DEA. They'll hide them blindly to me and my dog. They'll give it a cook time or a settle time, and then they'll tell me which rooms to go search. The girl has to find all those odors in different rooms within 6 minutes, I believe.
And was he successful to do that?
Yes.
All right. So as of May 2018, he was certified for that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now taking you to October 23rd, 2018. Tell us what occurred once you got on the scene.
So when I get on scene, I talk to Officer Ross, gives me kind of background what's going on, so I know what I need to do. After I get kind of the rundown of what they have out there on scene, I'll do a quick walk around, make sure there's no broken glass, any objects on the ground that'll injure the dog. In this particular incident, he asked for an open air search. Open air is also named free air sniff. So you're just walking a dog around in the area to see if he picks up on any odors and then alerts to any odors or anything like that. So it was set up in a parking lot. I kind of did a loop around to the area where they wanted me to search. I always want to search other areas as I'm going through to just show that he's not just alerting on everything. And then once we got around to the area where they had several people detained and moved off, he pulled me to a Chevy Sonic. Once he got to the Chevy Sonic, I noticed that his breathing calmed down, he slowed down, his tail starts wagging. Once your car begins to get an odor, he gets excited, his tail starts wagging, and then you can physically hear him taking in a deep breath through his nose. And then at that point, he begins to bite at the door handle and the driver's side door handle and seam area, which is his natural alert, not taught alert. That's just something he does when he gets in on a trained odor, and then he begins to scratch at the area where he smells the odor coming from, and which is his taught alert, the presence of the odor of narcotics or controlled substances.
And then once he alerts,
At that point, I give him his toy. That's all he cares about. That's why he works. He gets his toy. I walk him around a little more and let him use the restroom. And I put him back up. I notified Officer Ross that I had a positive alert on the vehicle. And he took the case over from there.
and then in this case, it was able to find an odor or identify an odor. And once you finish with that, does that drum off in this case?
Typically, if I don't have anything else going on, I'll hang out, I'll stay on scene with them just in case they need any assistance. But as far as handling the case, everything's on the officer at that point.
And that would drum off in this case.
Just,
Cross. Go ahead. Go ahead.
good morning, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. You indicated that you walked Shakan around the area generally, correct? Shakan didn't hit on a blunt that was on the ground near a white car, did it?
No, you did not.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you. Anybody else? Hey, redirected. May we permanently or temporarily excuse Sergeant Cornelius, I should say. Sergeant Cornelius, thank you for your patience with us. I'm going to go ahead and permanently excuse you as a witness. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay?
Sure.
All right, thank you, sir. So, call your next witness.
Thank you, they call Joshua Mason Zach.
What's his name? Mason Zach?
Mason Zach, M-A-C.
Mason Zach. Joshua Mason Zach? Okay, all right. Mr. Mason Zach, good morning, sir. You would please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you would turn and face Sergeant Ingram to be sworn as a witness before you sit down.
I just want to protest what you're there to go.
Yes, sir.
Morning. My name is Josh Mackenzack. First name J-U-S-H. Last name M-A-C-E-N-C-Z-A-K.
And where are you going?
I'm currently employed in the Department of the Army as a forensic examiner.
And how long have you been in the Department of the Army?
5 years.
Prior to working in the Department of the Army, where did you work?
I worked in the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
And how long have you been in the Georgia Bureau of Investigation?
Just shy of 14 years.
And what did you do for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation?
I was a forensic examiner that analyzed evidence for the presence or absence of controlled substances.
And tell us a little bit about your training and education experience.
I went to Georgia Southern University where I received my bachelor's degree in chemistry. This was one of the main requirements needed to get hired by the Bureau. Once I was hired at the Bureau, I went through their training program where I was introduced to a variety of different substances that I might see, how to analyze those substances, and how to use the many different analytical techniques that were provided to complete my analysis. I was also trained in courtroom testimony for instances such as today.
And when you were with the GBI, you had a citizen training
Yes, every year we were given a proficiency test, which we had to analyze to prove that we were technically competent in order to do our job. We also were required to do continuing education through read-ins and meet-ins and just general journal reviews so that we can keep abreast of the new and exciting developments that are happening in the drug world.
And have you ever had the occasion to testify before an expert in further country?
Yes, I have.
And you know how many times?
Definitely over 100, but I don't know the exact number.
And have you ever testified or qualified as an expert in chemistry?
Yes, I have.
Under this time and space, you like a 10-year Mr. Joshua Dixon as an expert in chemistry.
What Mr. McIntyre? Hearing none, the court will designate Mr. McIntyre as an expert in the area of forensic chemistry.
Thank you so much. Very briefly, you can tell us your what is correct.
Forensic chemistry is analyzing evidence that may be related to a crime scientifically for whatever the result of the submitter is looking for, whether that be fingerprint, drug analysis, firearms, DNA.
And while you were with the GBI, what specific substances did you test in the first?
During my year at GBI, I would test substances that were positive for cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, MDMA, spice, bath salts, any kind of pharmaceutical tablet that might be issued by a doctor.
I want to direct your attention to 2017, where you employed with the GBI.
Yes, I was.
And I will take you to DOMS case number 2017-102039, where you given items to test regarding that case number.
If I had a report to see, I could.
I'm going to copy the pressure method.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State Exhibit 87I. Tell me if you recognize Exhibit 87I.
I do recognize this.
And how do you recognize Exhibit 87I?
This is a very standard template. Sorry, my apologies. This is a very standard template that we would, for our reports would look like. One of the main ways I can recognize it is on the second page. It has my signature along with my information, email, phone number, and my name typed out.
And then is there an accurate depiction of your report involved with the UFS case number 2017-102039?
Yes, it does.
And when you look at a copy help today,
One more time.
we're looking at how we will help you today in your testimony.
Yes.
Under this time, things like tender, State Exhibit 87I into evidence for the purposes of this hearing. So gospel
Objection to State 87I. State 87I is admitted.
Now, taking you to the COFS case number, given items to test the case.
Yes, it was.
And who were the items given? What agency submitted those items?
According to this report, the Atlanta Police Department.
And I'm going to show you what's already been admitted. That's Exhibit 61H and 63H. Tell me if you recognize Exhibit 61H.
They do seem somewhat familiar.
Okay, so I think you see someone.
Well, as I don't have my notes from me from the GBI and the photos that were taken, it's hard for me to do a comparison to what I see here versus what I saw at the time I opened this. However, there are some things in here that are familiar. This is a very standard evidence bag that we received from the Atlanta Police Department. It does have the case number. When I flip it over, I see the items inside that match the description that I put on my report. And at the bottom of this one particular bag, I can see my initials I made when I sealed up the evidence after I made entry into the bag.
And when they have a simple protocol to seal up the evidence inside it, when you finish testing the items.
Yes, it is.
And have you seen that and with your signature earlier today?
No, I haven't.
Did my investigator to show.
Yes, that's not ours. Sorry, I misspoke. Yes, I did see this one being exhibits 63H earlier today.
Okay. And looking at both of these, they have the COFS case number and the sign on the report.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And does it appear to be the same COFS case number on your report as it is on the sign?
Yes, the case numbers do match each other.
Okay. Now, when you were asked to test those items, what items did you receive?
I received a bag of tablets. There were two different logo imprints on. So, is your objection to foundation? All right, I'll sustain this to that.
Your Honor, what is the evidence right now? So, I'm sorry, the report is.
What's the evidence so you can read from it? So, objection.
What did you receive?
I received a bag with tablets. There were two different types of tablets based on the color and the pharmaceutical imprint that were on them. There was another single package that contained three different bags. All three of those bags contained solid material. And then there was one bag that contained a single blue tablets.
And when you received those items, did you test everything?
No, I did not.
Soldier, why did you test all the items you received?
There was a protocol of GBI at the time because of the sheer amount of cases that we would get in. We could not test every single exhibit. The more exhibits we tested, the longer it would take to get through a case, and therefore our backlog would increase. So the procedure at the time was to look for certain things that would go through quicker. One of those being, is there a certain weight that we can target it more than the others? There's also the potential of, does this particular item possibly fall on a higher schedule than another one? These are all procedures laid out at the GBI at the time, and this is what I used based on my experience also to determine which item would be more preferred over the others.
And then looking at this case specifically, which item did you test?
I tested 1B.01, a bag of solid material.
And why would you be able to test that particular?
At the time when I weighed this particular bag, it had a net weight greater than 28 grams. It is my understanding as a civilian. Objection. Can I just make this a continuing objection, madam? I'll make a continuing objection. There was a protocol of the GBI that anything over a certain weight amount should be tested first for the potential of, which was just potential of the protocol of the GBI. This one bag was over that weight, which was 28 grams, so it was the first thing I analyzed. Once I completed my analysis, I discovered it was a compound that was deemed to be the highest level that we could go, so therefore the other items were not beneficial for testing at that time.
So when you tested item 1B, looking at Stacey's Exhibit 3H, do you see your initial on any of those items on the answer item?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And which item did you test?
It was the bag right here, the large one. Yes, ma'am.
And when you tested this one compound, what were your results?
You want to read my entire results or just the simple version? So it is a very long chemical name, but the substance that I analyzed is commonly referred to on the stream as bath salts.
And what was the total weight of what tested?
The total weight of the material inside the bag, so not including the bag, just inside, was 31.435 grams.
And why did you test on that particular bag?
Because again, at the time, the weight of 31 was over the 28
28th that was in the GBI proceed protocol, and that the particular compound that I identified justified that the other exhibits did not need to be tested.
Now, as it relates to the other items that were given to the GBI to be tested, why you did not test them, to identify anyway what the tabs could be, because objection, speculation.
I'll sustain this form. You can rephrase that.
Did you identify the tablets?
No, I did not.
What, if anything, did you do with the tablets once you obtained the tablets?
So with the two different tablets that actually had a logo imprint, I was able to just do a quick Google search for what they could potentially be.
Objection.
What they could potentially be. Granted, this is not identification, this is just an indication, but there was an
Overruled. And I'll note your objection now.
that sounds able to just at least indicate that it might.
Overruled the objection.
There was an indication that it might be alprazolam, but I never did any chemical testing to verify that at all.
And the imprint on the physical, is that what you, the imprint on the physical, objection form?
That is correct.
After doing your testing on item 1B, you produced this report,
Yes, I did.
and was it a protocol not to continue testing after determining a certain
I'll sustain that. Cross. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning. Will you pronounce your name for me one more time because I do not want to butcher it? Mackenzack. All right, Mr. Mackenzack. You received the items to test in this case from Officer Chisholm, correct?
I didn't receive it specifically from him. I received it from a GBI personnel in the evidence room.
Okay. On your report, does it indicate received Officer Chisholm?
Yes, his name is on the report as the officer requested the results.
Okay. All right. So you did not deal with Officer Chisholm directly, correct?
No, I did not.
All right. And you did not deal with Sergeant Maldonado?
No, I did not.
You do not, it would be fair for me to say that you do not know how the items you received to be tested was given from one officer to the next.
That is correct. I have no witness of how the evidence was handled before we entered the GBI.
Okay. All right. So if Officer Maldonado gave it to Officer Chisholm to give to the GBI, you don't have any knowledge of that?
I'm not even sure if that's how the order went either.
Okay, thank you. All right, and you can't tell myself and the jury what manner the items were seized, like whether it was in a container or anything like that. You just know how it was delivered to you, correct?
That is correct. I have no knowledge of how.
Okay, so when the items were seized in a pill bottle, that's not how you received it.
That is correct. There was no pill bottle here.
Okay, so you didn't receive a pill bottle at all?
No.
Let me ask you this. Let's talk about what you did receive then. All right. You received one bag with a few tablets, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And you received another bag with one tablet.
That is correct.
Okay, so we're at two bags?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then you received 3 bags with a solid substance.
That is correct.
Okay. So total, it was 5 bags.
Yes, ma'am.
You're sure?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's go over each bag one at a time. Okay? All right. 5 first, the bag with a few tablets. You received it in a sealed bag, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Alright, and you did not test that bag?
That is correct. I did perform no chemical analysis whatsoever.
Okay. Alright, and then let's go to bag 2. Okay. Alright, so bag 2, 1 tablet. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't test that?
That is correct.
Alright. Alright, so we're down to the last 3 bags, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I just want to make sure because I want to get it right. In those 3 bags, there was solid substance in each bag, correct? Okay. So, when the arresting officer in this case stated that he sees 2 bags with substance, you received an extra bag.
All I can say is that when I opened the steel package, I received 3 different bags. I'm aware of what the officer sees at the time.
Okay. So as the officer stated that he sees only 2 bags with substance in them, you received 3 bags.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. And out of the 3 bags that you received, you only tested 1.
That is correct.
Okay. So you have 3 bags, 1, I'm saying extra, and you only tested 1.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. You explained the GBI protocol to us in testing, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So if the prosecuting attorney called you and asked you to test those pills, you most certainly would have done so, correct?
Absolutely.
You did not receive a call to test those pills, correct?
I did not know.
Okay. Now, the 1 bag that you did test, that bag turned out to be bath salts,
That is correct.
not MDMA.
Not MDMA.
Okay. All right, and that was the extent of your involvement in this case, was testing the 1 bag.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me ask you. You had no idea who that 1 bag of bath salts belonged to.
No idea whatsoever.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Welcome.
Any further examination? Any further redirect, madam? Go right ahead.
In your experience as a forensic chemist, does NDA come in a, can NDA come in a house?
Overruled.
Can it come in a house?
Yes, it can.
And are there times where I can come in and leave on one thing, but once you test it, it becomes we're identifying something else?
What do you mean by legal?
What was marked on here? What's marked on here?
It says 2 clear sandwich bags of MDMA.
In your experience in working with GBI, are there times where I see this legal or it's not even with the tech, you find another substance or section else?
Overruled. Yes, that can happen.
Okay. And in this case, let me ask you, bath salts, what schedule were bath salts?
To my best understanding of the law, it's a Schedule 1 substance.
Is that what you want to report?
Yes, it is.
I'll strike the issue of his understanding of the law. If you could ask him a question in regards to that. But I'll instruct the jury on what the law is.
What do you know the bath salts and what's that?
Per GBI protocol, I was required to list Schedule 1 on the report.
And are you aware of what MDMA, what's MDMA?
Again, just to my best interpretation of the Georgia Code. interpretation of the law.
Outstanding objection. Ladies and gentlemen, disregard the witness's last statements about Schedule 1. If it's applicable, I will charge you us to that.
You know, I'm gonna ask for interpretation, but objection.
Don't speak your objection, madam. If you have another way of phrasing this, please go ahead and do so. But you cannot testify about what the law is, okay?
And based on your report, that's what you told me, that I did discuss the man's objection.
Outstanding objection.
I have no further questions.
Anything further?
Sir, at the end of the day, what you tested was not MDMA, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you did not test the pills, correct?
That is correct.
You cannot tell this jury with certainty what was in anything you received beside what you tested,
That is correct.
which was just bath salts.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a nice day. No further questions.
All right. Anything further? All right. Anything further, redirect, madam? May we excuse, Mr. Magazak, permanently or temporarily as a witness? All right. Mr. Magazak, I'm going to go ahead and permanently excuse your witness. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case. We appreciate your patience with us, okay? All right. Thank you, sir. So what's the length of your next witness, just give or take destination?
About 20 minutes.
We're going to go another 20 minutes, and then after this witness, we'll go to lunch. We want to have lunch right now.
God, they take more breaks.
Continue? Okay, all right. Call your next witness, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. I'm gonna call Officer Stansel.
All right, summon Officer Stansel, please.
They trying to figure out who that officer is. Right there. Uh-oh.
Sherrod Stansel, S-H-E-R-R-O-D, Stansel, S-T-A-N-C-I-L.
And where are you?
City of Atlanta Police Department,
And how long have you been seeing the man?
7.5 years.
And what hours are you?
Currently assigned to the homicide unit,
And how long have you been with the homicide unit?
5 months.
Prior to the time with the homicide unit, who was assigned?
I had a short stint with the robbery unit, and then I was with our criminal investigations unit, and prior to that, I was on Apex.
When were you with Apex?
From September of 2019 to December of 2022.
And are you post-certified?
I am.
And were you post-certified in January 2020?
I was.
In January 2020, was that during the period you were assigned as Apex? With Apex?
Yes, ma'am.
And with as an Apex officer, did you have a particular period in which you were assigned?
No, ma'am.
I want to say sorry, I didn't hear it.
No, ma'am.
I want to say specifically January 21st, 2020, did you have the occasion to respond and be a walking people out of the camp
Yes, ma'am.
and is that in Wilson County?
Yes, ma'am.
What is located at walking people out?
It's an Exxon gas station.
And why was that the location?
Myself and my partner were at the location doing targeted enforcement. They observed a group of males quickly flee into a gas station upon seeing our patrol car.
What happened once you saw them as quickly so
Once the males quickly flee into the location, we stopped and made entry into the gas station.
what happened once you went inside?
We went to the back of the store by the gaming area where these gaming machines. This is the back of the store where there's an enclosed space with the door where they keep little the electronic gaming machines in the back. And it was in that room we discovered the 3 males that had run inside.
Okay. And what happened once you went inside the vehicle?
General conversation, talked to him, and then two of the males came outside with us.
Okay. And what happened once the two males came outside?
Upon the two males coming outside, had a general conversation with one of them, asked him, hey, what was going on? You know, if you have anything, let me know. We can go ahead and deal with that. Once again, there's only two of the males.
Okay. And the males said they had
Yes, I believe Mr. Ford self-reporting having a small amount of marijuana.
before you remember what his first name was?
I do not.
Okay. We're looking at a copy of your police report on refreshment.
Yes.
I'm going to show you the markers identification is 95R. Tell me if you recognize 95R.
This is the police report based on our old report writing system.
Okay. And look at the report. Does it have your refreshment memory as the first name of the system?
It does.
Okay. What was the system?
Nearest.
And once he self-reported, what happened?
He was detained without incident.
Okay. And what happened to the other male?
The other male was free to move about, go about. He had nothing on him, so he just sat there.
Okay. And then the third male, what did he do?
Mr. BB, I observed he was not there. He actually was still inside the room, the game room shield.
So what you recognize him to as being in what?
Went in there to speak with him. He didn't come out.
Okay. And did he come out? All right. What happened once he came out?
Upon him coming out, he sat down, and then I went back to the room.
It was he sat down. Where was that?
Sidewalk in front of the business.
Okay. And why did you go in inside?
Given the fact that all the males have come out except him, I wondered, okay, why were you staying inside into that room? You know, it's not to be something behind.
Okay. So what did you do once you went in?
I got into the game room machine area, and in the direct spot where Mr. B was at, I discovered a small baggie containing half a gram of crack cocaine.
Once you found the crack cocaine, what did you do?
The first step was to detain Mr. B and explain to him why he was being detained. Next, we talked to the store clerk and see if we could use surveillance footage of that store, that room. We see that camera back there.
And where did you see it? So
Yes.
yes, it does affirm or deny what you would pick up inside of that room.
Yes, ma'am.
And after you observe the video, what did they do?
Mr. B was formally arrested. He was formally arrested for possession of crack cocaine. We had seen him take the crack out of his boot and discard it in the area where it was located.
And what evidence for what he arrested?
He was not being charged for possession of less than an ounce of marijuana.
And did you collect the crack cocaine from Mr.
Not directly from Mr. BB, but I did collect the crack cocaine that was recovered, yes.
And you turn it inside?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as 679, 81, 82J. Please tell me if you recognize those.
79J. I'm sorry.
Recognize?
Yes.
How do you recognize them?
These, I believe, come from my body count.
Okay. And what are they of?
79J appears to be of the vehicle I was driving that day and the outside of the gas station.
Okay.
80J, once again, from my body worn camera, it's the outside of the gas station. 81J, I believe that's Mr. Derek's Ford. And 82J is Mr. Durante BB.
And there is a depiction of both the Exxon gas station and the
been changed or altered in any way since the time that you saw them in January of 2020?
No, sir.
Okay. Any further or any objection? Question still remains. Any objection? Hearing none. 79, 80, 81, and 82J are admitted and may be posted.
First one, so 679. Showing 679, if you can say, or is your, what is it? 679.
Sure, twist direct me.
Yes.
So the vehicle marked 31242 was the police vehicle I was operating that day, and the male standing next to it was my partner for the day, Officer McGon. That's also outside of the gas station.
Okay, officer.
McGon?
And is there one that you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Looking at 6 exhibit 86.
Once again, that's going to be one of my monthly benefits.
Alright. And the other thing, 81 check.
That is Mr. Darius Ford coming out of the game room.
Okay, so then the game will be just described earlier in your testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. And then looking at
That is Mr. Fonte BD.
alright. Now I'm also showing you what's been marked as 6 exhibit 78 check. Tell me if you recognize it for this second.
This is the crack cocaine which is recovered.
And looking at 78J, this is the evidence bag that you can use in order to collect that crack cocaine.
Yes, ma'am. The evidence bag and the marking tag we used.
And on here does it have any other identifying information as to where it was collected, when it was collected?
Yes, ma'am. So marked on the suspect line, it has the name of Fonte BD, which is the male that was cited.
Your this toxic letter to your state exhibit 78 check is out.
Which one, I'm sorry?
78 check.
78J. I say 78J is admitted and posted. You see through.
After arrest of Mr. B, and then it was reported copy chart that can be drug off.
Yes, ma'am. Cross. Yes. Stands all right? Yes, sir. All right. So let's see. Your involvement in this case is that you come to the location, as you and other officers pass that location, you see folks run inside. Yes, sir. Okay. And that was enough to make you all stop and go inside and pursue and see what was going on, right? Yes, sir. All right. You haven't seen any crime being committed at that point, right? Yes, sir. Where's this location? 151 Fifth Avenue. Okay. How many of you guys law enforcement officers patrolling at that time? I can't answer that question. I'm not sure. Okay. Roughly how many calls? More than one call. In the area? Well, right there. I can see what we're talking about right now. We were the only responding car at the area. Okay. Right. And so, you guys run inside the store. You guys go inside the location in there, or just walk in. All right. You go back. You count these folks, and maybe come outside. Yes. Yes, sir. All right. Anybody handcuffed anything like that? No, sir. Okay. Let's talk to this one, right? Yes, sir. At some point, Ron said, you found what you believe to be a rock crack cocaine, and this BB was part of that. Yes, sir. All right. And you remember the incident? You remember this BB? Yes, sir. All right. He was here, right? He's not in here. Not to my knowledge, no, sir. Okay. That's the only thing he talked about, right? Yes, sir. All right. You didn't have any reason to
At this point, may officer Stansel be permanently temporarily excused witness? Alright, officer Stansel, thank you for your patience with us. I'm going to go ahead and permanently excuse you as a witness. Don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay? Are you good? Okay. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's about 12:20. How about some lunch? Okay. Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to recess and I'll have you come back for...
All right, y'all. I'm going to skip it.
Just make sure.
This section right here is after lunch.
ACS is just a professional organization for chemists. It's an international organization that provides access to conferences, training, networking opportunities, and things like that. And how long have you been for membership in the professional association? For the ACS, it's been about 3 or 4 years, I believe. And what's required to become part of the association? That is just a simple sign-up membership. That's it. Okay. And have you ever been made to testify as an expert area of field of forensic chemistry? I have. And how many times would you say? I'd say about 15 plus times. Okay. And have you ever been qualified as an expert county to testify? Within Fulton County, I believe once or twice, yes, but I'm not sure. Okay. And have you always testified in the area or field of forensic chemistry? Transition here to future guidance. Can you describe to the jury what forensic chemistry is? Sure. Forensic chemistry is basically the analysis of a substance to determine the presence or absence of a chemical of interest, a controlled substance. And so it's basically chemistry within the scope of the law. And what kind of information can the results of the analysis performed by a forensic chemist give us? It can tell us whether or not the item of evidence contains or does not contain a controlled substance. And when you say controlled substance, can you identify for the jury what it means? Controlled substance being anything that's written into the law that's either illegal or in some other way controlled by a pharmacy or by some other entity. Okay. And what kind of controlled substances did you test for during your time intervals at the GP? Sure. I tested for any number of controlled substances. I don't know. Would you like me to name? Yes, sure. Cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, marijuana. Those are just a few. Did you have any other duties at the GBI other than testing for controlled substances? No, I did not. And to be sure, have you personally had the opportunity to conduct testing and analysis for controlled substances? Yes, I have. Would you be able to give the jury a rough number of how many times you performed such analysis? I'd say over 5,000 cases I've worked. Okay. And what type of instruments did you utilize while you got to conduct such analysis? So we used a number of different scientific instruments and techniques to conduct the analyses. Would you like me to give a few examples? Sure. So we usually use a balance if we have to weigh a substance. So that's a pretty simple test. After that, we kind of split our tests up into what are called preliminary and confirmatory tests. The preliminary tests include things like thin layer chromatography or TLC. They also include ultraviolet spectroscopy or UV. And then some of the confirmatory tests that we do are kind of those techniques that give us a specific identification of a substance. So things like gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, otherwise known as GCMS, as well as infrared spectroscopy or IR, FTIR. Yeah, you just used some big words there.
able to understand. For the purpose of you explain a little bit about what you're talking about when you use those words such as gas chromatology, and infrared spectroscopy.
Sure. So the preliminary test, like I mentioned, for TLC and UV. So like UV, I can use that as an example. Ultraviolet spectroscopy. All that is basically shining a UV light on something, a solution, to kind of give me an idea of what may be in the sample. And those preliminary tests also they also serve to separate the components of a mixture. So a lot of times, substances that are received for testing are mixtures. We have to be able to separate those mixtures into their individual components. And after we separate those, we also have to identify them, and that's kind of the second part, the confirmation testing that we do.
And can you describe a little bit about that confirmation testing and process or procedure that goes through?
Sure. So it's I will say a more specialized kind of chemical technique is all it is basically. It's something that's able to kind of literally break apart the molecules that are in the sample and give us an idea of what they are.
And after the molecules, to use your words, are broken apart, how are you then able to determine what they are?
Sure. So most of the tests that we do, most of those confirmatory tests and some of the preliminary.
Right now, y'all here talking about how they identified what's inside the drugs that they found.
Graph. That's all it is. It's just a piece of data that we look at, and we can compare it to a known reference standard, for instance, and that helps us in our identification.
When you say no reference sample, what do you have in mind?
So if we're looking for a controlled substance such as cocaine or methamphetamine, we have a reference standard, so a pure sample of that substance that we can test at the exact same time and compare it to our results.
Is it fair to say that no reference sample is the type of thing you're looking for?
Yeah, in a way, yes.
What are the possible results types that you can obtain after you complete a rapid testing?
What do you mean by that?
What are the results that you can receive?
The results we receive are either we found a controlled substance or we haven't found a controlled substance.
And the type of testing that you kind of involved with those, is this the type of testing that is generally accepted within science?
It is.
And courts typically allow experts to testify about such subject matters for, say, a trial.
Yes.
And are there standards while you were at the GBI that control how testing is performed within your particular division?
Yeah, so the GBI is what's known as an accredited agency. So you think about professional certifications, accreditations at any kind of job, and the GBI is no exception. GBI has that accreditation, and that accreditation allows the GBI to follow a specific process for their testing. And that testing is governed, that accreditation is governed by an international body that sets down these regulations.
And those regulations that you're describing, that international body,
Yes.
and are those best practices associated with type of testing?
Yeah, those best practices would fall under that accreditation.
And is forensic testing background something that an average person who's out of specialized training?
No.
Okay. All right, it's time to stay moves to qualify Mr. Patrick Chapaitis as an expert in the scientific field of forensic chemistry.
Anybody wish to blood Mr. Chapaitis? Anyone? expert in the area, or qualified as an expert in the area of forensic chemistry.
Mr. Chivitis, what happened in the laboratory that you got received any evidence pertinent to the reason for which you did it? Yes. And what evidence in the laboratory received pertinent to this case?
Well, if I could see it, I would, or if I could see a copy of my report, I would tell you. Sure.
Okay. I should pass that approach. Thank you, brother.
Let me come. Let me come.
Approaching you with what's been evidence in free marked as States Exhibit 78.
So what I received to test in this case would be one bag of solid material.
Okay. And from what you are looking at, can you identify when the laboratory received the evidence?
When the laboratory received it, no, I can tell you exactly when I received it. It would be February 17th, 2020.
Okay. And after you received that particular piece of evidence that's already been admitted, can you tell the jury what you did with it?
Yes. So first I verified all the information on the package, and the way we usually do that is by when it's received to the laboratory, the evidence receiving technicians would take pictures of it and give it a unique GPI case number here, as you can see on the barcoded label on both sides. I would first compare the pictures, make sure that the barcoded sticker has the case number that matches what I'm seeing in front of me. And then I would open it up and then begin my analysis, and I would typically begin, in this case, it began with weighing the substance.
And the material that I handed you to be sure is in fact what you tested.
It is the sample I received and a sample of to test, yes.
What color is the material that you have in front of you?
It looks to be white to me.
And can you describe the texture or feel of that particular evidence?
It just looks like it's a block of substance.
Solid material.
It is, yeah. It's all material.
And can you describe for the jury where you received that evidence?
Where I received it from was the Atlanta Police Department.
Was there a case number associated with it from the Atlanta Police Department?
The Atlanta Police case, according to the label, is 2002-11823.
And for this particular piece of evidence that you performed an analysis of, can you describe what that analysis consisted of?
Yes. So, like I mentioned a little bit ago, was that first I weighed the substance, and all that is I took a net weight, which means I took the entire sample out of the packaging and weighed it on a balance. And once I had that information, I could continue on with my testing. The first test I did was one of those preliminary tests. In this case, it was thin light chromatography, or TLC. And all that is a separation technique where I take a little bit of the substance, dissolve it in a liquid, and I have a glass plate with a film on it, and I basically spot a drop of the sample solution on that, and that's able to separate out all those components in the mixture that I talked about earlier. And at the exact same time, I spotted a solution of reference standard as well. And then at that point, I was ready, after forming some preliminary conclusions about what may be in the sample, I moved on to one of those confirmatory tests. In this case, GCMS, or gas chromatography mass spectrometry. And all that is, the first part, GC, is the part that separates, again, the components in the mixture. And once those components were separated, it moved on to the MS, or the mass spec portion of that test. And the mass spec is what gives me that graph that I can compare to my reference standard and say, hey, this is what I have in the substance.
At the end of all of that analysis that you performed there, did you get your conclusion?
I did. My analysis confirmed the presence of cocaine in the sample tested.
And your analysis subject to purity?
It was.
And is that commonplace as a GTI?
Yes, every case that is called into court is peer reviewed.
And with respect to testing, is there no error rate or anything associated?
In this case, since the substance was not, we didn't get a quantitative result on it. All I did was get a weight. The only thing that would be subject to that would be the weight of the substance.
And what was the weight?
The weight was less than 1 gram.
And with respect to the analysis that you performed on these particular tests on this particular solid material, did you follow the standards and protocols that you outlined for the jury earlier during our conversation? And Mr. Chikitis, after you performed the analysis within the lab that you described, what else, if anything, do you
After I perform the analysis, I would generate a report to state my results.
now showing you what has been remarked as states exhibit 88J as already been previously submitted to this defense counsel in discovery. Right, I approach what the information. Mr. Chikitis, what have I just handed you?
My report for this case.
And how do you know that that's your report?
It has my GBI case number on it that matches what's on the evidence, and it also has my name and signature on it.
And has that report that I handed you been altered in any way, form, or fashion since the time that you told me?
No, it has not.
And right at this time, the state now moves to commit states 88J.
Any objection?
Yes, sir.
Any objection to states 88J?
Yes, sir. The competition clause would state that that's my purpose, Your Honor. For investigate, I would reject it.
You would issue second later as to the first basis for your objection. I'm going to overrule that, and I'll admit it over the objection to states 88J.
Mr. Titus, on that report that you have in front of you, is there any particular name by whom, was this session requested by anyone?
It was requested by the Atlanta Police Department.
Okay. Does your report include the name of anyone from the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes, it says S. Stansel.
And is there a person associated with it as a subject for whom that substance is located?
Yes, Durante BP.
And the substance that you tested, did you conclude on your report where it fell on the drug schedule?
Yes, it fell under Schedule 2.
And at this time, Your Honor, the state now has to submit this to the defense for any further cross.
Anyone? Anybody else? Okay. State everything further.
Not for this case.
All right. May we permanently or temporarily excuse
You may permanently direct to Mr. Spice.
Mr. Spice? Sir, I'm going to go ahead and permanently excuse you as a witness. Thank you for your patience with us. Don't discuss your testimony anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay? Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, I approach the witness stand to retrieve the evidence. And at this time, the state,
Before you move on, you just identified states that you got objected to.
Yeah, we will. I will summarize at the end of the video.
You was 78, Jay? 78, maybe phonetically, I lost the translation. Should say. Okay, all right, well, then we're good. Okay, fine. All right, now, this is now. Well, yes, Mr. Sharp. Okay, just generally, I think they're supposed to be that. He hasn't identified for the record yet, so. Just, what is it you want to tell me? What document are you referring to, sir? Oh, well, come on, have a look at it then. Defense counsel has had the opportunity. Let him look at it again, just to make sure he's satisfied. I just want to know what you need.
That's right, defender. Defense. Y'all got to watch the space. All right, let's do that paperwork. I like these attorneys. They got some good attorneys in there now.
We good? Mr. Sharp? No, I don't know what he's, because you interrupted. He hadn't finished when I was talking, you interrupted him, so let me just kind of see what's on the table. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, pursuant to Rule 24.9, 901, the Georgia Code, the state now moves to admit Exhibit 83J into evidence, which is a certified conviction for Mr. Durante Beebe. And if the court should like to see it, I can provide that at this time. What does that say? What? States Exhibit 83J as in Jacob. Counsel? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know that. Not that objection. There are some extraneous documents presented that go beyond certified.
Uh-oh.
All right, Mr. Short and Mr. Brown, come on. All right, it's time for you.
Uh-huh. See, when they look through that paperwork, then it messed them up.
What's that? But it all just talking. Nobody just talking. Okay.
I want him to get why in the Melly case. I like him. I like the judge. You know what? They must have got rid of that lady. That lady, the other attorney. She needed a break.
Your Honor, I've just now been handed back State's Exhibit 83, J as in Jacob, and pursuant to the court's direction to publish, I will now do so for the jury. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. In front of me is certified conviction for Durante Beebe in the case of State of Georgia versus Durante Xavier Beebe in the criminal action number of 20 SC 174500. This plea was entered as a non-negotiated plea to the charge of possession of cocaine. The disposition was guilty, And at this time, Your Honor, excuse me, this particular charge pertains to the incident occurring on January 21st, 2020. I will continue. The charge pertains to the incident in the indictment, in the accusation pertaining to the incident occurring on January 1st, 2020, where in which he was charged with unlawfully possessing and in control of cocaine, a Schedule II substance, in violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. And at this time, Your Honor, I will proceed to read the sentence that was given by Judge Melanie Lethbridge. According to the document, it states that the defendant is sentenced to a total of 3 years probation with conditions. And Your Honor, those conditions, the state will reading those. Yes, Your Honor. Additional objection to this being admitted with reference to Mr. Nichols. There's a standing, I guess, a continuing objection under the Jefferson case, but also, Your Honor, I would object it going into evidence under 24A. Is this for later or for now? For now? For now. I'm objecting to this going. Can you come to the bench, please? Sure. All right.
That's a good lawyer now, Judge. Get him, y'all. Get him. Let's go, defense. Hey, Doug. I still like you. They don't like you. I still like you. All them boys look good. They don't gain weight. They don't got fat all up in the jail. They ain't got nothing in the system. They look good. Everybody don't gain weight. Head don't got fat. Stomach fat. Face fat. Thank you for watching the trial with me. I'm gonna summarize the whole show when it goes off for those who missed out on it. The past witness that we had, he was only speaking about he can determine where it's real substances, ingredients fake, but so far the drugs that they collected, it was real. That from the last witness on the stand. Also, we had the first detective. He came up and he spoke on when he was a red dog, the items that he collected and turned in was real drugs. And the other dude, pretty much just a detective. In this trial, in this part of the trial, also the prosecution is continuing to call police witnesses as the YSS trial involving the Atlanta rapper Young Thug and his associates. And that's what they're doing today. That's going to continue on tomorrow. So I'll keep y'all updated on everything. So that's pretty much summary of the show for the night, the trial for the night. These are police witnesses. Okay.
Started February of 2022 until I'm confused with myself right now. February of this year, sorry. Till September. Till September of this year? Yes. Okay. And September of this year, what unit are you assigned? Zone 2. And what are your responsibilities in Zone 2? Answering 911 calls, doing my downtime, do proactive work. About 2020. What unit were you assigned? Zone 415. And were you both certified on May 9th, 2020? Yes, sir.
what is proactive work?
So if the pending calls for services are low, you usually will go out, try to conduct a traffic stop, or you might want to go to a high drug area and try to get, some drugs or something like that.
You mentioned high drug area. Are you familiar with high drug areas based on your, will you tell me, what unit you've come more familiar with?
With the Zone 415.
Are you familiar with 151 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes.
How are you familiar with it?
I did an undercover buy at that location.
And why did you do an undercover buy?
The Zone 315, they were conducting a detail and they asked for the Zone 415 assistance. My role was to do undercover buy at different locations within Zone 3.
About how many undercover buys do you typically?
So it depends. I mean, if we get a lot of people, maybe that's it for today. If we get one or two, then we probably move to the next location.
On May 9th, 2020, did you have a reason to visit 151 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Why is that? Why 151 Cleveland?
So again, Zone 3 was conducting a detail. This is one of their high crime areas. And they wanted to do a little, try to put an impact on drug sales in that particular area along the Cleveland corridor. So they asked me to go undercover, try to buy some drugs. So I was pointed to that direct location by one of the Zone 3 officers. Said there might be something going on in there. So I walked in. As I walked in, there was a male who was wearing white pants, white shoes, with a blue jeans jacket. He was standing somewhat in the doorway. I walked in. I just asked him, "Hey, you got some smokes?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "How much you want?" I said, "I got a 20. He reached in his pocket, pulled some weed out, wrapped it up into a lottery ticket. I paid him the 20. He said, "Hey, man, here's my phone number." I got his phone number. I left. Once I got back into my car, I left the location, update the takedown units of the sale, give them a description of the mill that I bought the weed from, and just proceed to the next location.
Okay. So based on your experience in Zone 4 and time in the game unit, time at auto crime, and your current assignment in Zone 2 is, in your opinion, is 151 Cleveland Avenue a known gang area for high crime area?
Yes, sir.
Now, you made reference to a transaction at 151 Cleveland Avenue. Can you kind of walk me through the transaction?
So I pulled my undercover vehicle up at the pumps. At the same time, I do have close cover who are somewhat in the area just in case something goes wrong. I exited the vehicle. I walked into the store. Again, he was somewhat in the doorway. I walked in. I approached him. "Hey, man, you got some smokes?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What you want?" So I got 20. I gave him the 20. He rolled up some marijuana, dropped it into rolled it up, handed me the money. As I was about to walk off, he said, "Hey, big brother, here's my phone number." I took his phone number. Objection.
Officer Applewhite, in what capacity were you working on May 9th, 2020?
Undercover.
And how many undercovers have you, how many times have you gone undercover before?
That actually was it. I'm an old rich. I'll say the judge, I should say.
Who did you come in contact with on May 9th, 2020?
I think it's John Travis. I'm sorry, hold on. DeAndre DBB. Yeah, DeAndre BB.
And what was the location of the sale?
151 Cleveland Avenue.
Okay, and what was that? Was that in
It's It's in Fulton County, yes.
What did Mr. Beatty steal?
Marijuana. Suspected marijuana.
Did you tell Mr. Beatty that you were an officer?
No, sir.
What did you do after you purchased the marijuana from Mr. Beatty?
I immediately left the location and relayed the information to the takedown units. One of the close officers from Zone 3, he met up with me, I believe it was at the Walmart on Cleveland Avenue, and I gave him what I bought. And then I think I went to the next location or to Zone 3 to conduct the right to write a supplement report. To write a supplement report.
Did you feel any signs of Beatty to the other officer?
Yes, sir.
And what was that description?
Black male, white pants, white shoes, blue jeans jacket.
Did other officers respond to the scene?
Yes, the Zone 3 fit and Zone 4 fit team.
About how many details have you participated in with Zone 3?
Objection, Mr. Steele. About over 4.
Okay, and what do those details consist of?
High crime area. Sometimes we do details for stolen vehicles, warrants, or drug area.
Other officers responded to the scene. Were you still present on scene?
No, sir. I was gone.
Did that basically complete your investigation with this matter?
Yes, sir.
That's what it's right.
Boss.
Sure.
Oh, Miss Adams.
Apple White. Wait.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Got just a couple of questions in regards to what you just testified about, okay? And if you don't hear me, if you don't understand my question, please get my attention. Let me know. I'll be happy to repeat. Okay. All right. So this is May of 2020 that we're talking about in this case, right? Correct. All right. This incident happened back then, and then you were part of the Zone 4 fit team. Did I get that right? Correct. Okay. You were working in what is called an undercover capacity. Correct. Now, you used some terms earlier that I want to talk to you about. You talked, for example, about high crime area. Correct. Right. Zone 4 is a particular portion of the city of Atlanta, right? Correct. There are many different zones in the city of Atlanta. Correct. There are very many high crime areas in the city of Atlanta. Correct. Zone 4 ain't the only high crime area in Atlanta, right? Correct. Right, so although we're talking right now about an area that someone says is a high crime area, you can go to areas of Buckhead, Atlantic Station, where there's a lot of where there's drugs being sold, right? Correct. You talked also about a high drug area, right? Correct. There are a lot of high drug areas in the city of Atlanta, are there? Right? It's not just Cleveland Avenue. Right. Right. It would be incorrect to say that the only place there are drugs sold or where there's crime that takes place is Cleveland Avenue. That wouldn't be accurate, right? Correct. Right. In fact, if as a police department or a police officer you chose to target a high crime area and you wanted to go into somewhere in Buckhead, you could find a high crime area in Buckhead to target, right? Correct. To do undercover buys at, right? To find people who sell weed, correct? Correct. On this day, you went, you didn't go on your own. You were told by, I presume, correct me if I'm wrong, other members of the fit team about this particular location. Right? Correct. Right. I mean, they could have sent you anywhere else. As a matter of fact, if I heard correctly, you said that there are a couple of different areas that you would go to. Maybe hit one area, right? And depending on, so I keep taking glasses on, so I got to see. Let's see. If we get a a lot of people, then you move on, you go to another area.
No, so if I have, let's say, we arrested 10 people, that's a day's work, right?
That's a good day.
It's a day's work.
Okay.
It takes a long time to process the evidence, the warrants, the transportation. So again, if I get one person, then we'll move to the next location.
Go with somebody else.
Another location. I don't,
You got a number of people. I mean, you said it's one person.
Yeah.
Right. Versus 10 people.
Gotcha.
One person, you got more work to do.
Right.
10 people, I'm done for the day.
Right.
Okay. You heard the term weed man?
Say it.
Weed man.
Weed man?
Yeah. I mean, you know how sometimes folks, I don't know, college kids, regular kids, adults, young folks go looking for the weed man to go buy some weed.
Okay, yeah.
Right? You heard that term before.
I've heard.
There is such a thing called a weed man, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes it's one man, sometimes it could be a woman. It could be a weed woman, right?
Correct.
Okay. When you got to, what's the address? 151 Cleveland Avenue. You're there to do the undercover buy, right? You're dressed in an undercover capacity. You look like a regular dude.
Right.
And you encounter this guy that you referenced earlier who is in white clothing, I think you said, right?
Correct.
You walk in, and you approach him. And you ask him if you got anything.
Right.
You were looking to buy some weed.
Correct.
And lo and behold, you bucked up on the weed man and you got $20 worth of weed, right?
Correct.
Okay. And I think I heard you say that, and this was a young, his name was BB.
Right.
I think you said Durante, something like that?
Durante, yes.
Okay. He gives you $20 worth of weed in a, what you say, a lottery ticket or something?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get your $20 worth of weed from the weed man, and you're out of there. Okay. Was he by himself?
So now they had maybe one or two other people in the store with him.
Okay. All right. But what has just taken place is you just bought $20 a week from this kid. Right? Correct. Okay. And that appears to be the long and short of it. You left out of there your job for the day, at least at that point. That location was done. Correct. $20 week sale. Right. Okay. And then you left and you told the takedown unit. Did I get that right? The name of it? That's correct. Okay. They're the folks that you would call and say, hey, I just bought $20 worth of weed. Come and get the guy. Correct. And you weren't there, but presumably they went to go get the guy. Correct. Okay. There was anything else going on at the location when you pulled up, right?
Oh, no.
Nothing else, just some kid who you asked for and got $20 a week from. Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any further cross? All right. Mr. Shirt?
He didn't, in other words, he didn't approach the boy who in the court. He didn't approach him.
I'm doing great. How are you? All right. Just a couple questions. Mr. Beebe, first of all, did you see me in court today? No, let me see. I can't really tell now. Mr. Beebe, on that day that you encountered him in the gas station, he was wearing white shoes, white pants, and a blue jean jacket, correct? Correct. Is there any other clothing description that you recall? That's what I saw. That's what I gave out answer. Thank you. Nothing else.
Okay.
Anybody else have any cross? All right. Can you read the reference statement?
Just briefly,
Yes, sir.
are you looking for crime or target key?
Crime?
Why are you targeting high crime areas?
Because this is where most of our incidents occur, shootings, drugs, a lot of the, community members, they complain a lot. I'm speaking for some for them, and that's why we're in the area doing what we're doing.
And were you looking for weed for yourself?
No, sir.
What's the purpose of targeting high crime areas?
Correct.
No further question.
Anything further?
You weren't targeted on this day. killings like that you were targeting a weed sale, right?
Again, the detail was a zone 3 detail. All I know I was to do was to go buy some drugs. It's not just necessarily weed, maybe crack, some pills, and at that particular time, that's what I was going for.
Your assignment, your focus at that time, at that location,
Right.
on Cleveland Avenue, was to go buy some weed.
Some drugs, yes, sir. Anything further?
They going somewhere with that.
Permanently or temporarily excuse the witness. All right, Officer Applewhite, thank you for your patience with us. I'm going to permanently excuse you as a witness, but don't discuss testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that was
Call your
cool.
next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor. City Officer Jenna Hawkins.
Summon Officer Hawkins, please. Are we good with this witness not being? We okay? You can film. Yes, thank you. All right, Officer Hawkins, good afternoon. Madam, come on up. If you please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, ma'am, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the evidence you'll give in the matter now and here, and the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you please proceed. Madam, if you could say, spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Yes, my first name is Jasmine, Jasmyn. Last name, formerly Hawkins, Hawkins. Currently Magavro, MOG.
Sorry about that, y'all.
So in your experience, the community is concerned, is the community concerned about what happened at that location?
I'll
Wait a
say
minute.
this for him.
Hold on, y'all. Don't forget that skip.
One area, right? And depending on, sorry, I keep taking glasses on and off. I got to see.
Oh no, I wasn't late. Hold on. I'm good. Right here. I'm good right here.
Are we good with this witness not being? We okay? You can film. Yes, thank you. All right, Officer Hawkins, good afternoon. Madam, come on up. If you please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, ma'am, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the evidence you'll give in the matter now and here, and the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you please be seated. Madam, if you could say, spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Yes, my first name is Jasmine, Jasmyn. Last name, formerly Hawkins, Hawkins. Currently Magavro, MOGAVERO.
And what name is your mom?
Magavro's fine.
Okay, I got it. Hawkins, whose last name? Oh, okay. Also, where are you currently employed?
City of Atlanta Police Department.
And how long have you been employed?
Since August of 2017.
And what is your current assignment?
The larceny from auto unit.
And how long have you been with that varsity unit?
February of 2023.
So very briefly about your history with the Atlanta Police Department, starting with your assignment after the academy.
So I've been sworn since March of 2018. June, I was assigned to Zone 3 Morning Watch. I worked there until February of 2020. That time I was assigned to the Zone 3 Crime Suppression Unit. And then I stayed there until August of 2022. And then I went to Zone 3 Day Watch for a few months until coming here.
So it says that students during your career supply means on.
Correct.
And are you post-certified?
I am.
And were you post-certified in May of 2020?
Yes, I was.
I want to take you to May 9, 2020. What unit were you assigned with?
The crime suppression unit.
And what were your job and responsibilities working with zone for crime suppression?
It's a proactive patrol unit, so conducting traffic stops, stops on suspicious persons in the community, or whatever other directive we had for that day. Usually proactive policing.
And you also said you served as a patrol officer within that unit.
Correct.
As a patrol officer and also working with the crime suppression unit, were you familiar with 151 Cleveland Avenue?
Correct, yes.
How are you familiar with 151 Cleveland Avenue?
I've answered a number of 911 calls there. I've completed traffic stops where people have pulled into that gas station, directed patrols, going inside speaking with the clerks at the gas station as well.
Why are you directing patrols at that location?
151 Cleveland Avenue, it's part of it's a high crime at that location and in that general area.
And when we say high crime, what do we refer to?
Shootings, drugs.
I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as the Exhibit 78 jail. It should show the screen. And look at 79J. Where is 79J?
This is from the front of this gas station, 151 Cleveland Avenue Southwest.
And then what you were just referencing is the high crime.
Correct.
Now, when you go out to patrol or to target patrol, why are you going to that? What brings you to that area to target patrol?
Just due to the nature of crimes that happen at that gas station, at that intersection, Cleveland Avenue, Old April, supervisors and probably coming from the top down, they want to make sure those areas stay safe, so they ask us to spend some extra time there.
And in your experience, are you getting any calls from community members about that location or what?
Yes.
Avenue?
Yes, absolutely.
So in your experience, the community is concerned about what happens at that.
I stand as a form.
In your experience, is the community concerned about what happens at that location?
Yes.
I'll sustain this a form. You can rephrase it.
Have you ever seen concerns about that location from them?
Yes.
I hear Mr. Harvey mumbling in the background. If there's an objection, please state it. Okay, overruled. And your objection, Mr. Matthews, is overruled as well.
All right. I want to direct your attention to May 9th, 2020. Did you have the occasion to respond to 151 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes.
Why did you respond to that location?
We were in the location. There was an undercover officer at that location looking for drug activity at that gas station.
And you recall what time of day did you respond to that location?
So that would have been about 9:46 at night.
I see you open up an envelope. Is that your police report?
It is.
Okay. Well, looking at the top of your police report, how refresh your memory? As to what time you responded, which Commissioner Cochran, I'm going to show you what's in March Exhibit 108R. Tell me if you recognize Exhibit 108R, and you can flip it.
I do, yes.
Okay. And how do you recognize 108R?
This is the narrative portion of my incident report.
Okay. And we're looking at Exhibit 108R, how refresh your memory what time you arrived at it.
Yes.
Okay. You go ahead and just read it to yourself, and once your memory refresh, you can look at it.
I'm all set.
Okay. What time did you feel there?
At 9:46 p.m.
All right. And what happened once you arrived at the location?
We received word from the undercover officer at the location that he was just sold 1 gram of marijuana inside the gas station. And then at that time, he gave the description of a black male wearing jean jacket, white pants, white shoes, who sold him that marijuana.
Once you had that description, what did you want?
All of the units that were there that day pulled into the gas station. There were numerous other people at the gas station as well, but that was the main focus at first. And then when I approached, I got out of the vehicle. Other units had already got out of their vehicles and were in the process of detaining that male.
Okay, so let's slow down. You said there were a number of different locations going on in it.
So I can't give the exact number of officers that were there that day, but there were other vehicles that were associated with the vehicle that Mr. Beebe was in, and that they were seen interacting with him as well prior to arrival.
So, see, that's right. And what kind of car was Mr.
He was in a white 2020 Honda Accord.
Now, were you all able to detain Mr.
He was detained, correct.
Where was he seated when you all first interacted with him?
He was in the passenger seat, front passenger seat.
And you just said I apologize, but what kind of car was it?
A white 2020 Honda Accord.
Okay. And once Mr. B was detained, what happened next?
He was detained, and then at that point I started my search of the vehicle.
Okay. And what was found in your search?
So there was 13 grams of marijuana in a clear baggie that was found inside the vehicle, the passenger seat, as well as a marked $20 bill that the undercover officer initially had, and that was used during that sale of that 1 gram of marijuana.
Was there anything else recovered?
Inside the vehicle, yes. There was a small backpack, a multicolored backpack. It was on the center console, front center console, and there was additional marijuana found inside that backpack.
And who did that backpack belong?
That was Miss Chastity Williams.
Okay. Once you found the marijuana inside the car, did you arrest him?
I didn't place him under arrest. He already was detained, but at that point, the marijuana on the seat was determined to be his.
Okay. And was there anything else recovered from him?
There was also a firearm recovered from him.
And was it recovered from his person?
Yes.
And that firearm that was recovered, was that firearm brand? Was it Ron?
Yes. Yes, it was.
And what name was your brand of the firearm?
It was
Also stated as a focus for phrase now.
Sure. Did you recover a firearm?
I didn't personally recover it, but it was recovered on scene, yes.
Okay. And when that firearm was recovered, did you find, was the serial number right?
Changes foundation to the grant. That's a state objection.
Who ran the firearm?
I ran the firearm.
You ran the firearm. Okay. And when you ran the firearm, what happened?
The firearm came back as stolen.
And did you also collect that firearm?
It was collected, yes.
Okay. And what about the now on that day, were there any other arrests?
Yes.
And were you directly involved in the information of it?
Put them gloves on, girl.
Yes, you may.
Virtually, was the margin exhibit 90K? 89K, 90K. Tell me first recognize exhibit 89, 90K.
Yes, 89K I recognize.
Okay, how did you first recognize 89K?
This is the 1 gram of marijuana that was sold to the
What?
All right.
Yeah.
And what about 90K?
This is the remaining marijuana that was recovered from inside the vehicle.
Okay, and was that recovered in, where was that recovered in?
On the passenger seat.
And where was Mr. Beal sitting there?
He was in the passenger seat.
All right. And does it appear to be, based upon looking at the bag, which collected back in May of 2020? You know, I just was thinking like 10 or 60, 50, 89K and 90K is happening.
Any objection? Okay, 89 or 90K?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
89 and 90K are admitted. Maybe publish what you submit.
Is it ever you want to look at the file?
Sure.
I'm not going to show you the one that's 91K. You look at some of it, you recognize 91K.
This is the firearm that was turned in that was on Mr. Beanie's person, and the serial number matches as well.
Okay, that appears to be the gun that was recovered off Mr. Beanie back in May of 2020.
It does.
All right, you know, I just want to say like a 10 or 60 to 91K is happening.
Any objection?
Okay.
I say 91K is admitted and maybe publish what you submit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Once you collect the evidence and turn it into property, did that include your involvement in this case? All right, I have no further questions.
Cross.
Here we go.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Right, please.
Investigator.
Investigator, thank you. And you'll excuse me, I heard your name earlier. I heard you say Hawkins, but I think you said it's changed, right?
Correct. It's Magavro.
Magavro?
Correct.
All right, thank you. Investigator Magavro.
Correct.
All right, so just a couple questions, if you don't mind, about this incident back here. And I keep hearing May the 9th, but it was actually May the 8th, wasn't it?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so if I heard correctly, you responded because there was an undercover sale that had been made at that location, right?
Correct.
You advised that there was a $20 marijuana sale that had been made. I don't know if you knew at the time the name of the person was Phoebe, but you had a description of the individual.
Correct.
Right? And when you got to the location, you saw someone fit that description, jean jacket, white pants, and that person was in a vehicle.
When I saw him, he was no longer inside the vehicle.
Okay. So the first time that you get to the location, he's already been detained or taken into custody or whatever by other police officers.
Correct. They were actively detaining him.
Okay. And they found, let's see, the item that you were just asked to identify a little while ago, I think is over here now. of them was the 1 gram of marijuana that was sold to the undercover officer. That's right, right? And then there was some marijuana found in the car that Mr. Beebe was supposed to have been in.
On the passenger seat,
On the
correct?
passenger seat. But you were in the car when you pull up, right?
Correct.
Okay. You just know that you were told there was some additional marijuana found on the passenger seat of the vehicle that he supposedly was in before you got there.
Correct.
Right. And what, 14 grams of marijuana?
Correct.
Is right here?
Correct.
Okay. And $20, was it $20 that, $20 that, the undercover officer had used to buy this 1 gram of marijuana, right? Okay. So I'll get that. It was found there in this shelter. Mr. Beebe found the army in the car with
On him.
Okay. This white Honda Accord was determined to have been owned by a young lady, or a lady, I'm not sure if it was young or not, Chastity Williams, right?
Correct.
She was detained, and I think, was there some marijuana found on her as well?
It was not found on her person. It was inside of a backpack that she advised was hers.
Okay. And there were some other people there at the location that the police had detained and searched, and I guess found some marijuana on also?
Correct.
Okay, so it sounds like everybody there, whoever happened to be there at the gas station at the time, was either stopped or if they were coming into the gas station, was stopped and detained and searched, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, sorry, not everybody. There were people that were not detained there as well.
At least 6 folks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ranging in things from a couple grams of marijuana. That's the kind of, I mean, essentially that's what happened. You guys, whoever was detained, if they had some marijuana on them,
They got to hurry up.
decided, you know, they get arrested or something like that, right? Okay. All right. That was the extent of your involvement in this case.
Yes.
Were you part of the FIT unit or the FIT team at that point? Okay. Everyone who was there, all of the law enforcement officers who were there were FIT team officers, right?
No.
No? And they're just other regular beat officers who were called to the scene to assist?
There were canine officers there as well who are not part of the FIT team.
Gotcha. Because, of course, if you got some marijuana, or if you think that you're going to find some marijuana, you want to have the canine around to go ahead and kind of sniff around and find whatever's there. Is that about accurate?
Correct.
Okay. This was a marijuana buy operation. This wasn't some sort of gang operation, was it?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Magavero?
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I tell you to get up? Okay, go sit back down, okay? Because there are higher considerations there than you. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand you want to take a comfort break, is that right? See? All right, okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to take a comfort break, ladies and gentlemen. Let's come back at 4 o'clock, okay? And then we'll start back at this.
Let me see what happened at 4. We're going to go to 4. So I'm glad I got a chance to go on and catch it this way. They don't get on break. All right.
Before we summon our jurors, can I get a member from the defense? Member of the state, come on up.
My boy, Young Thug. I know y'all can't stand him. He's from the A, so I got to like him. Young Thug. Young Thug said, "Don't get that name on my bag." They showing the video right now, y'all, but before they show it to us, they got to view it. Gonna pick up some weight, looking good. I mean, they look so, all of them look good since they've been out the streets. Got cleans. Well, y'all, my cold getting better. My sinuses and everything. That sound good, don't it? I'm getting ready for the holidays. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna skip it a little bit.
I don't know. We're almost finished. We're crossing our next witness just
Mr. Garcia is not along with this.
Members of the meeting, when we call Officer Fikes, given the issues that I told you earlier, not this next witness is fine, but with Officer Fikes, if you would not film him as well, okay? And I believe that the state is going to organize a meeting for all the councils for their respective media outlets to discuss with you next step. So that's in the works and that's coming. But for the next witness, okay, Officer Fikes, please don't videotape him, okay? All right, thank you. All right. Can I call in the jurors, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, all right. Sergeant Ingram, is everybody ready? Do we need to have a conversation with the bench? Lieutenant Walker, do we need to have a conversation with the gentleman at the bench here? Okay, council, can you all be seated for me just a second? And I'll have a representative from the defense, please come up. State, if you please come up. Okay, start radio.
What y'all doing on his food? What y'all doing, thug? Let me skip it a little bit. At the end.
Would you consider yourself the lead officer in this case?
Yes, they asked me to take the case.
Okay. And you're the one that wrote the report? Okay. And you were responsible for making charging decisions in this case?
It was a collective effort.
Okay. Were you one of the people consulted?
Yes.
And ultimately you were in charge of documenting everything, correct?
Correct.
Did you take out the warrants as well?
It was a collective effort for that.
Okay. And I'm not going to ask you specifically about any laws, but generally speaking, as an officer, are you trained in criminal laws?
Yes.
Is that part of the training offered by the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes.
And did you go through that training?
Yes.
Now, are you familiar generally with the criminal code of Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. All right. My understanding is Mr. Beebe is not the only individual that was arrested at 151 Cleveland Avenue that afternoon or evening. also arrested was Chastity Williams, correct?
Correct.
Okay. For drugs.
Correct.
Shaquille Scott was also arrested
Correct.
for drugs, including possession with intent to distribute drugs, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Antonio Johnson was also arrested for drugs.
Correct.
And I'm going to try with the pronunciation of this in Madam Court Reporter. It's, I believe it's Cyquavious. Sequavious Martin was also arrested at the scene, correct?
Correct.
For drugs.
Correct.
And a Curtis Barber, who was 35 years old at the time, correct? Which would make him 39 today, correct? Okay, he was also arrested for drugs, a firearm, and for possession with intent drugs.
Correct.
So you arrested, besides Mr. Beebe, 5 other individuals for drug offenses. 2 other individuals with possession with intent to distribute charges, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was based on your training that you received about the criminal laws of Georgia.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Now, any of these individuals, in the arrest of Chastity Williams, Shaquille Scott, Antonio Johnson, Sanquavious Martin, or Curtis Barber, were any of those individuals, or Durante Beebe, were any of those individuals charged with Gang Act violations?
That I do not know.
Well, did you charge them with Gang Act
I
violations?
did not.
Okay. And those same 6 individuals, Durante Beebe, Chastity Williams, Shaquille Scott, Antonio Johnson, Sequavious Martin, and Curtis Barber, do you see any of those individuals here today?
I can't see everybody, but no.
Thank you.
Any further examination?
Yes,
Mr. Matthews Jr., go ahead, sir.
Hello, how are you?
So back in May 18th this week, at 1:51, there were a number of officers who arrived to see, correct? And you did fill out, you did the contract of report. That's just your law in that case, correct?
Correct.
But in your report, you did not reference any video or any photographs taken or video that was taken of the feet at the premises of that, correct?
Correct. I did not.
And as a result of your involvement in that case, did you didn't refer to any gang units? You didn't refer to gang units in reference to your involvement within that case?
No, did not.
Anybody else from the defense? Okay, any further redirect from the state?
And all 3 officers with the crime suppression unit, are you responsible for taking out gang one?
No, I am not.
Who's responsible for taking out any gang one?
Anybody who's on the gang unit.
Come on, come on. Hey.
Both Mr. Adams and Mr. Sharp asked you about some of the other individuals found and some of the other items that were found at this. So we talked about Miss Chastity Williams. She's the person who had was she the person in the car and had a book bag with marijuana?
Correct.
Sustained.
Miss Shaquille Scott, what drugs were found with Miss Scott?
Miss Scott had a pink purse on her person. Upon search of that purse, there was a total of 29 grams of marijuana located in a clear plastic bag. There were 15 smaller bags of marijuana as well. There were 2.2 grams of crack cocaine, 9.7 grams of MDMA located in 12 separate baggies, and 1.6 grams of powder cocaine along with $35 US.
And relates to the negative of Mr. Antonio Johnson. What was found? What exactly was found with Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Johnson admitted to having a blunt inside the car.
Let's see how you look. Man, let me see. God, stop. Come. Excuse me, y'all. Come here, Cam. Come here. Sorry about that, y'all. These dogs, the tig. I'm sorry. Camper.
I tested were 2 bags of leafy material. The item that was submitted was. That's all I have. Anybody else? Any further redirect, Matt? Sure, we'll see.
In addition to $20 that is was found in the other money. In addition to $20.
The marked $20, did Mr. Dube have any other money on him? Yes. Okay, how much? $105. All right, thank you.
Anything further? All right, at this point in time, we're in Bureau permanently temporary use witness. Madam, I'm going to permanently excuse you as a witness. Thank you for your patience with us this afternoon. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, madam.
Yeah. Sit down. Come here.
Ms. Hilton and members of any member of the defense, can I see you all for a second?
I left that light on. I left that light on. They got one last man, y'all. This last detective. All these witnesses here are police witnesses. They got them in that position.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have it on pretty good authority. The next witness is short. So, I know, please don't laugh openly, okay? All right. The attorneys are hurt their feelings, okay? All right, so, I'd like to take up this one other witness and then recess for the day, and then we'll start fresh tomorrow morning, okay?
Yeah, this is the last one.
We'll take one more witness, it's fairly short, okay? And then we'll recess for the day. All right. Calling this witness, ma'am.
It'll be Mr. Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, go ahead, sir. All right, summon Edwin Garcia, please. All right, Mr. Garcia, get out there, sir. Come on up and approach the witness stand. Once you get there, before you sit down, if you be so kind to turn and face Sergeant Ingram, be sworn as a witness. Yes, sir. All right. I do.
All right now.
I'm employed at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Division of Forensic Sciences, in the chemistry section. This is also known as the State Crime Lab. And how long have you been at the GBI? I've been working at the GBI for a little over a year now. And can you tell the jury a little bit about your education and training? Certainly. So I earned my Bachelor's of Science degree in chemistry from Morehouse College, and I underwent the identification of genus cannabis training program at the GBI.
Morehouse. Smart, boy. Smart.
Yes, I do. I have to fulfill hours of training throughout the year at the GBI, and I'm also still undergoing lectures that are oftentimes presented at the GBI. Mr. Garcia, have you personally had occasion to clinically analyze the material? Yes, I have. How many times? A little over 200. How many reports have you prepared in connection with the test? Yes, a little over 200 as well. Mr. Garcia, what is delta-9 THC? So delta-9 THC or delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, it's a cannabinoid found in the plant material of the genus cannabis, and it is the main psychoactive ingredient in cannabis. How do you test for it? So to test for delta-9 THC in plant material, I first collect a net weight of the evidence. A net weight is the weight of the evidence without any packaging. After this, I then conduct microscopy on the evidence, where I look at the smaller characteristic features of the plant material. After this, I then conduct gas chromatography mass spectrometry, abbreviated GCMS. Here, I'll prepare my sample, then I'll run it on the instrument. It'll go through the first part of the instrument known as the gas chromatographer. At this point, what the gas chromatographer will do will separate the sample that I prepared into the individual components that make it up. Once it exits the first part of the instrument, it'll then enter the mass spectrometer, the second part. Here, what happens is that all those separated individual components will be fragmented. Those fragments will then be collected as data in the form of a graph known as a spectrum. I can then compare the spectrum of my sample data to that of a delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol reference spectrum to see if there are consistencies. If your test is performed accurately, what will those tests run with you? If the tests are performed accurately, the microscope will let me see the smaller features and will let me know if it is plant material of the genus cannabis, and the gas chromatographer mass spectrometer will let me know approximately how much delta-9 THC is in the evidence submitted. And is this type of drug testing that you can try subject to peer review? Yes, this is subject to peer review. And I understand these tests are yes, there are standards, there are policies in place at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. And one thing, just one thing, that they are subject to peer review. So peer review means that, and for my cases, 100% of my cases are peer reviewed. This means that another scientist in the GBI crime lab reviews my cases to make sure there aren't any errors of any kind. So that's going back forward to the standards. Are there best practices as well? Yes, there are best practices. Okay. And is the type of testing generally accepted in the forensic testing? Yes, this testing is generally accepted in the forensic field. Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state will take their Mr. Garcia as an expert in cannabis identification. Anybody wish to one hearing none, the court will designate Garcia as an expert in the forensic. Thank you, Your Honor. In connection with Mr. Garcia, in connection with U.S. number 2020-101-2426, testing leafy material in this case. Yes, I did test leafy material in this case. And, Your Honor, permission to look at you, sir. Mr. Garcia, I'm showing this what's been marked as, pre-marked as 693K. Do you recognize that? Yes, I do. And what is it? This is the
case, the report that I concluded to for the evidence that I tested. Has that report, has there been any other modifications to that report? That's all it is. No, there haven't been any. At this time, the state will move to admit the state's proposed exhibit 93K.
Any objection to state's 93K? All right, hearing none, state's 93K is submitted and may be published as you see fit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Garcia, again, I'm sorry. So the items that I tested were 2 bags of leafy material. The item that was submitted was item 9. I tested sub-item 9A, 1 bag of leafy material, and item 10, which had 1 bag of leafy material, which I tested as well, making the 2 bags of leafy. And did you use the principle that you just talked about? Yes, I did. And based on your testing, were you able to reach a conclusion? I was able to reach a conclusion. And what was that conclusion? For item 9, sub-item 9A, my analysis confirms the presence of plant material of the genus cannabis with a greater than 0.3% tetrahydrocannabinol concentration. For item 10, my analysis confirms the presence of plant material of the genus cannabis that contains less than approximately 1% tetrahydrocannabinol.
Look at.
No further questions.
Look at.
So, do you still have that report up there? Yes, sir, I do. Yeah? Thank you. This is a report prepared by you in regards to the item that you tested, right? Correct, yes. And am I correct that you tested these items on, let's see, well, actually, it was received by you on January 27th of 2023. Is it fine if I look at the report? Yes, January 27th, 2023. Okay, so items that were seized back in May of 2020 didn't get to you until January 2023 this year. I don't know when they were received, but I do know that I got them this year. Okay, you don't know when the person, I'm sorry, let me see that quick second. Yes, sir. All right, you would agree that this has a agency reference number and a case individual at the top list, is that right? Correct, yes, the report does have that. The case subject for the person listed is someone named Devontae B, right? Yes, that's what it says on the report. Okay, you don't know even when that person, Devontae B, was charged with any sort of offense, but you know that you didn't test this item to determine what it was until January of this year.
Yep.
Yes, I don't know when the subject was charged. I just know that I received this evidence.
Yeah, that's why he asked you.
This year's when I tested it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I have.
That's all he said. So they waited a whole year for you to test it.
Mr. Garcia, be permanently and temporarily excused works?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garcia, thank you for your patience with us. I'm going to permanently excuse you as a witness. You're free to
Oh, that answered the question.
duties and application. Just don't discuss your testimony anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and recess for the day, as promised. Our next witness is going to take a look.
Okay, y'all, we're gonna end it right here. This is day 6 with I'm gonna do my summary, my reaction. This is day 6 of Young Thug YSL Slime trial, and mainly today, only thing they covered today was the police witnesses. Okay. and the kind of, substances. I can't say the word D, inside the to make sure that the D was right, but it's real drugs, you know what I mean? Or was it fake drugs, real drugs? But that's what mainly was covered today. And the young man, one of the young men that was in court, I think his name was Sequamarcus something. I don't know the true name, but anyway, they spoke on him. He didn't. He just had drug up under his seat, and another officer explained that it looked like to me today it was mostly like the people who they got locked up in there now were just around the drugs. It don't seem like they selling the drug, but they were selling it. I don't think they called themselves. One of the undercover officers was sold drugs to, but he wasn't sold drugs to from the young man who locked up now. So far that's the only thing. Tomorrow they're gonna finish up with from day 6 with the police witnesses, and then they moving up, y'all, with the witnesses. They moving like this with the witnesses. See how quick that was. So it's not going to be long like y'all think it's going to be long. It's going to be long, but not like I thought it was going to be. But I appreciate those who keeping up with the trial with me, and I wish, I know y'all think it's crazy, but I wish the best for Thug, because really Thug got a ticket. They ain't got nothing on him but the ticket. And they trying to say since it's YSL slime that he's the over it. That's why he's there. Okay, he just like, if your child do something wrong to mama, it's gonna be blamed on the mom. So the mom got to be there. But other than that, he's just there to witness what they doing now. He's not there. He's not locked up for that. He locked up for a speed ticket, going 100 miles per hour. And that's what all these kids used to do on our highways, y'all. Drive fast like that. But somebody can get hurt. But that's just about the end for today. Y'all, I'll be on tomorrow. I didn't come on this morning, did I? Can't remember. Because I be leaving out the house late. So that's why you don't see me at 5:30. If I don't come on at 5, I'm coming out the house a little. I want to come out the house a little later. I want to leave out of here about 5:30. The only reason why I want to do that. So I won't have to be sitting in the cold so long before I go to work. So I try to get to work about 10 minutes to 6, because it's cold outside. So if I don't go live, y'all, I apologize for that. But I appreciate those who stayed with me tonight and watch and listen to what's going on. All right. Love y'all. Good night.